For those that are watching remotely on this or watching the video at a different time, this is part 2 of Adobe Forms creation on that. So again, going back to your handout that you have, we're going to start in on page 6. We're still working on manual creation of forms in Adobe DC.
Monica, would you like to use my mouse?
I'm good.
Okay.
I normally would say yes, but I'm kind of limited on space.
Okay.
So thank you. I figured out which one of the crosshairs I need to see.
Okay.
So what I did, I continued here with my radio buttons. I just did another copy paste on vegetarian lasagna, and I changed the tooltip. I got the tooltip. I changed under the options so that the radio button choice is vegetarian lasagna. Then I added another text field. I named it special requirements. The tooltip, I said, enter any special dietary requirements. So no saying you can't sit next to Jonathan. On the appearance of it, in this case here, I wanted it to be font size 12. I don't want it to do it because I set it as a multi-line. So if I look into options here, I am going to check spelling on this. I want to be able to read what they're saying on it. Makes sense. And I said multi-line, and it allowed for the scrolling. So if it goes beyond the lines that I've got there, I'll get the scroll bar on the side. Okay. Now, last thing I need to do here, see how my buttons didn't do a really good job of lining them up. Again, I don't need to, because how can I align these? The highlights, I'm going to take my mouse, I'm going to click outside of it, make sure it highlights all of them, and it's going to choose the top one. Do I have that one pretty well aligned where I want it? I think that looks pretty good, so I'm going to right click on this, and I'm going to say align vertically. And they're all lined up. Well, if my spacing was off a little bit here, I can highlight. Have this first one, hold down your control key, get your second one. Oh. Okay, so now I have both of them highlighted here. Right click, distribute vertically. So between the top one and the bottom one, make sure the spacing is the same between all of them. So now you're not spending all this time trying to get everything to fit exactly right. And if you're working off of one of these and your screen isn't really big, you don't have a second screen, you know, now you're blowing things up to 300%, so you're staring at the screen and try to get it to match up just perfect. You don't have to do that. All right, so we have it all ready to go on here. So I'm going to save my copy of this. I haven't done the submit button yet on it. If I remember right, I put a separate, yeah, I got a separate section for that. So I'm going to go ahead and save this video file. I'm going to save this, so I've got a copy of it. So I'm going to put it in my, in this case here, I'm going to put it in the same location here. I'm going to just save it as shapes. If I want to see what this looks like for the general public, what's an easy way for me to do this? I could use the preview button. Drag into Google. Right, so I could go open Chrome, find the one we just created here. Got it. So look pretty good. Does it function? Checkbox. I really can type. And I want pasta this time in light on the sauce. Okay. Does the form function the way we need it to up to this point? If I were to continue typing on it, I want the noodles to be 1 minute past, how do you spell Dante?
Al dente, is it A-L-E-N-T?
But not 2 minutes. Definitely not underdone. Okay. Notice here, if this was a hybrid, okay, and I needed to print this, notice what I lost in the print. Because it went down past it. That's why I said you got to look at how the form is going to be used. If this is only going to be online, the form works perfect. But if I needed to print off and have a physical copy of this, I don't know what the rest of it says.
Oh, wow. But didn't you say spell check under special requirements? And then al dente is misspelled, it should be a D-E again, and not D-A. Like spell check didn't work with your name because you didn't put it on because you misspelled price.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that's really embarrassing.
But the special requirements shouldn't have been like underlined with red or something.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, let's do this here. Let me open this up. Somebody have Adobe Reader on your, open it up just in Adobe Reader. So download a copy of it and then open up Adobe Reader, see if it does that. It should, yes, you're right, it should have picked up Al dente.
But when I try to download it, it showed
Oh,
me
you
as
got the full,
online, yeah.
you've got the full version. You'd have to, because where I put it, I put it in a shared on my OneDrive file, so it's trying to open it up in an online version. So that's what's causing the issue with it. So most of the time we share it differently.
But the spell check still didn't work.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if it's not working because I'm in the browser or if it's because I'm not in Adobe.
Okay.
So it should work if I'm in Adobe. Something wrong. That's a good question. Oh, check spelling. So it wasn't during the auto. I didn't set it to auto check spelling.
Okay.
So I can tell it to check spelling. Okay, so let's pretend we have some guests that have filled out this form that we created. We're going to get to the submit button here in a second. I want to skip ahead just a little bit. So in responses, in that folder that I shared with you, you'll see that I have included some responses from Santa Claus. He's allergic to candy canes. I've got it from Mrs. Claus, from Peter Rabbit, Jack Frost. It was late. So, that anyhow. So I have all of these. So again, if I build the form so that they get submitted to Ashley, in this case I had just said submit, send an email to Ashley. So people had to fill it out, save a copy of it, go into Outlook, and email that form to Ashley. Then Ashley had a folder set up called responses, Christmas party RSVP responses. So she puts all of these in that folder. I'm going to get rid of this for a second. Have I made Ashley's job any easier?
No.
A little bit. She's not having to run around and try to find invites. She may find some in her box. She may find some that I ran over to Carlin and said, Carlin, here's my invite. Will you make sure Ashley gets it? And Carlin has it sitting on her desk. So we've at least made it to where it's readable. It contains data. And if we tell it to email it to Ashley, she knows where it's going to go to. She's going to look in her email. So we've made her job a little easier. But now she has to tabulate. She has to get a hold of the concession area there. well, one of the people that caterers to say, I need so many prime ribs, I need so many of this, I need so many of that. Here's how many people I have in total, so I need to have tables for this many people, plus 5% over because people show up and show. So she still has to do that all manually. So she'd have to open up each one of these and record the information. What if I did this? I'll open up the first one. Remind me, I gotta go back to page 7 here. So this is what happens when I go out of order. I'm flipping over to page 9 for a second. I just want you to see this so that you kind of understand why we're doing some stuff the way that we're doing here. Okay. So once I have this open, I've opened one of them. Again, I'm in the folder where it needs to be. I'm going to go to Edit. Then I'm going to go down to Form Options. Then I'm going to do Merge Data Files into a Spreadsheet. What it's going to do is create a CSV file, a comma-separated file, which imports into Excel. We're going to say Merge Data Files, and it's going to say, okay, what files do you want to add? I'm going to add. Again, I've pointed to my responses. I want from Jack Frost all the way down to Susan. I want all of these. Again, if Ashley is responsible for 300 people responding and having to record information for 300 people that are going to show up, trying to figure out what everybody wants, that can be quite daunting, right? Ready to count? Christy, you got your timer going? I need to record what everybody, that they're coming and what they want to have and any special requirements. So I've highlighted all this and clicking on Open, and now I'm going to click on Export. Give it a name, Christmas Party RSVP responses. Notice it's saving it as a CSV file. Here's file 9. Because it's saved as a CSV, it will open in Excel. Here's the information. First column is the name of the file. We don't really care about that. However, we have the menu choice. We have whether or not they're coming or not. We have their name. We have their email. We have special requirements. All the data is there. Notice it came in out of order, right? When I was working, when I created things, I created the menu items first. Then I did the attendance checkbox. Then I did the name and the email address. So the order I created it is the order that it's submitting the data in. I need to fix that. However, worst case scenario, do I have all the information for Ashley? Yes, I can come here and I can say cut. Come here and say insert cut cells. Cut. Insert cut cells. And now she has, and I don't need this column here at all, so I can hide that there. She knows exactly who's coming, yes, they're coming, what their menu choice is, their email address if she needs to contact them, and any special requirements. Now imagine if she's got 300 people that are sending her responses. She has to record. Did we just save her a lot of time?
Yes.
Think about some of your other forms that you need to record information from. Okay.
Jonathan, could you have saved that from, instead of opening up the file itself, could you just use the file versus opening it up? Or do you have to open it up to be able to tabulate and then highlight the
Yes, yeah, you have to open up at least one. Basically, you have to have Adobe open. So I used the first file to open up Adobe Pro. I could have just gone to Adobe, opened it up, and then done edit and stuff. But you got to have some kind of file open.
Oh, not, because I guess going back, just like the file, it's under what, responses.
Yes.
You can't just open responses. You have to open it up and then
And select which ones.
all of them.
Yeah.
Okay,
So if you click on first, hold down your shift key, click on last,
Yeah.
it highlights all of them.
okay, that's.
Now, the only thing with this is this treats it as a CSV file. If she gets other responses in later on, it won't add it to this file particularly. You know, she can do it because what she would probably want to do is rather than label this as a CSV, she'll do a save as and actually save it as a workbook. And then any other responses that come in through, she could keep those in a separate folder and then add to it. However, how long did it take us really to create that file? I would just go back through and say, I got another 30 responses in through, go through and look at it. But see here, I can switch this and say, okay, save it as a XLS file. And now you get full capability of adding to that stuff. So you see why we want to think about when we create the form, what kind of information do we need from it? Because now this just made it a lot easier to get information. I don't remember what's on the counter form, but is there information that needs to be tabulated all together and totally go through? If so, yes. Are there other forms that you have that is, you need to have a history of everything that they have and the information that's on it? Bringing it into Excel spreadsheet, you can do that. So. Right?
I wish, that looks really fun.
Yeah. Okay. But that's a nice way of being able to do things. Let's say all you want to do is to send out a form to all of your employees on your side. Say, you know what? I need an updated contact list. What's your name? What's your address? What's your current cell phone number that we need to get a hold of you on? Okay. Submit that back to us. And now we've got that information. We're doing that. So you see now, again, the purpose in doing that is just to, again, I'm going to close that little box here, close things out of that. I just wanted you to see that you can use it for more than just getting a piece of paper that you now print off and then write down all that information. So it comes in handy with it. Okay, back to page 7. Saving a form as a reader extended PDF. In order to ensure that users are not able to manipulate the form once you have published it, you'll want to save the file as a reader extended PDF. Basically what that means is it takes away the edit on it. So that if somebody opens it up, they can't go through and make changes. The problem with that is it takes away the edit, so you can't go in and make changes to that form. So this is, you want to do this once you know that the form is perfect. You've tested it. Nothing needs to be changed on that form. This is the one you're going to save as the extended version and publish that one. And what I would say is this. Let's say that I decided that this autoconvert is going to work just fine for me that I had here. I don't need to make any other changes to it. I'm going to do File, Save as Other. Notice there's lots of other things that we can do with there. Reader Extended. Enable more tools, including the Form Fill and Save. It lets me do those things. It's giving me some warnings here. So the following features will become available for this document when opened in the free Adobe Reader. Okay. Here's things it's allowing. You can save the form data for fillable PDF form only. You can comment and draw marks on it. You can sign an existing signature field. So as long as there's an existing signature field that we've created, they can do that. You can digitally sign the document anywhere on the page. Notice once Reader has enabled certain functions such as editing the document content or inserting and deleting pages will be restricted. So then you want to save now. What I would do is don't overwrite your working copy. So make sure when of your right. So have your working copy so that let's say you publish it, and then you find out, well, what do you mean there's a fifth menu choice? You never told me there was a fifth menu choice. I really wish you would have told me there was a fifth menu choice. Now I've already saved it as something that can't be edited. Go back to your working copy, change it there, resave as a new extended version that can't be edited, and then send that out. Okay, so always give yourself something in the background. So when I say this one here, I'm going to say, this one here, I'm just going to put an RE in front of it. Reader extended employee. Okay? And then that's what I'll send out to people. So they can fill it out, they can sign it, they can do all those things, but they can't edit the form. They can't move things around. Because sometimes I don't know, especially when I'm sending it out to the general public, maybe somebody else does have a full version of Adobe Reader, Adobe Pro. And they go through and they change your form on you. They add that fifth menu choice and the sixth menu choice. You know what? I don't like anything you're offering. I want you to put in this. And I'm going to send it out to everybody else and let them now choose, because I decided that there should be a sixth menu choice on it. To prevent something like that happening, that's why we do this extended version. So even if they do have Adobe Pro, they can't make changes to it. Okay, makes sense?
Jonathan,
Yes, ma'am.
is this one you can also pull the data from? and submit?
Yeah, it's still, so that it doesn't change anything with it for the data. I don't have to save it as an extended in order to pull the data from it. It just kind of locks it down so that people aren't making changes. Okay. So then, if I've got things that happen here and I have to add in another menu choice, I'm able to do that here on my regular auto converts versus, and then I'll just redo a new RE. Make sense? Okay, submit button. Okay. We've made things somewhat easier. People can open up a form, they can fill it out, but then they have to save it. They have to open up Outlook and complete and fill out all the information, make sure they're sending it to Ashley. We did write on the form to send it to Ashley. We got to make sure that they do send it to Ashley, not to Jen. Remember, they don't trust Ashley with their information. Jen to tell Ashley what they want. Okay, so it doesn't really stop that. So we want to more constrict what the person has to do with it. So we're going to create a submit button. So let's go back here to our element shapes. It'll look a little bit prettier. Okay. So I have this form. Send a response to data. Okay. I want to modify this form. What toolbar do I need? Tools.
Compare form.
Prepare form. Okay, so now I can make changes to any of those fields. If this was a reader extended version, could I do this? No. Button. We'll say we'll put it there. I didn't leave myself enough room on this page here, but that's okay. We'll put it here. I'm just going to click. What do I want to call the button? I'm going to go into the properties of it. Click here to submit. Appearance. I want it to stand out. I'm going to make it red. I'm going to make the word big on it. Position I'm okay with on it. Options. Label only, invert. I want the label to say, click here to submit. Now I am going to use this Actions tab. So when the mouse is used, so mouse up, I want to execute this. Scroll down through, I'm going to find a thing called reset the form. So if I want to blank out all the answers, if you get to the bottom of it and you had everything wrong, you can click on a reset form and it wipes it clean. Again, we want to submit a form. I'm going to add that action in. Enter a URL for this link. So we could submit it, and I haven't done this one for this practice, but I could submit it to a shared folder someplace. Okay, submit it, put it out here. But I want it to email to Ashley. So I use this command. You want to write this one down here. Say mail to, all one word, colon, space, atevis@lakeshorecs.org. So mail to, colon, then a space. What that says is send this, email it to Ashley. If I needed to, other people after it, semicolon, next person's name, semicolon, next person's name. Okay. If you, let's pick on records for a second. Jen does not want to receive all of the, say you choose encounter forms. She doesn't want all the encounter forms to be emailed to her email address. Okay, person. Because there's other people in records that need access to them. And sometimes she wants to go on vacation. We can set up another mailbox, which could be mhrecords@lakeshorecs.org or idrecords@lakeshorecs.org, and have things like this submit to that inbox. So then whoever is responsible that day to see what came in checks the inbox. Okay? And in this case here, I have different things. I can have it send just the data that's on it. In this case here, I want it to be the complete document. And I'm going to hit OK. Again, there's more things. When we start talking some more of the advanced classes, we'll get into some of those other things. That one first. I click on OK. And I hit close. I'm going to preview, see what it looks like. Okay, I chose a font that was a little bit too big. So we'll come back down here. Again, I'm going to open up my Prepare Form toolbox. I can do a couple different things here. I could change my appearance and change this down to 12. And then I can also change the size of this button. Or maybe I can just simply say, click to submit. That fits. Now if I preview it, okay, it stands out. There's no question what that button is used for. I'm going to click to submit. Again, I can put a tooltip over it. Click here to submit. I can say click here to submit, and it will send to Ashley. Whatever you want to do with it. I'm going to save this. I'm going to change this one here. So this one here, I'm going to put out here. And I'm going to say this one here is RSVP. Okay. So now, if you want to look in that folder there, you have this one that's called RSVP Submit. We open it up. Yes, I'm going to come. Price, J.Price@lakeshorecs.org. I want the baked Alaska salmon, no special requirements, click to submit. And this is what the user is going to see. How do you want to submit? If I'm on my laptop here, I'm just going to use Outlook. Or I could use webmail, so if somebody outside of the general group here wants to use a Gmail account or things like that, they could choose webmail and say which one of their webmail accounts they want, including their Office 365 account webmail. But in this case, I'm just going to use this one here. And I can say, remember my choice, so that anytime I submit, it always knows to use my Outlook to do it. And that's on the user side of things. Yes, ma'am.
Would this look the same if we're using a template on their computer? They still can click to submit and then it'll open up online?
Yes, they would use their Office 365 to submit. Again, they don't want to submit. If it's something that they want to submit at the end of the day, they could save everything, and then when they get back and they have Wi-Fi, now submit your files for the day. If it's your mileage reimbursement form, okay, I've completed it all day long, now I'm all ready for it, click submit. This is my daily log, I filled out everything to my daily log throughout the day, now I'm back at my house, click submit. Are you ready, Ashley?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to continue. Oh, by the way, further-wise, open up your email first. Works better. Okay. So here it is. Without doing anything, all I have to do is hit send. So the user is going to have to remember, okay, go into, click on new, put in this as the subject line, send it to this person. Okay, Ashley, you should have
It hasn't
received
come
some.
through yet.
Did you save this into your?
So this is why I say open up Outlook first. If you have it open, the reason why mine didn't send is because I didn't have Outlook running, so it's not sending yet until I open it up. Okay, so if I look under my sent items here,
It came through.
there it is. So I have a copy in my email of what was submitted. So if there's a question, somebody says, I sent this to you. Okay, there should be a copy you sent in. Now remember, you can always do this. I could create a folder and say, here's my emails that I sent to Jen for my daily logs, and keep copies of it, not just in my sent folder, but something separate, if you want somebody to go to that. So if we look to see what Ashley received, she received this, she should have received this identical email here with the completed form. She can receive all 540 emails from all of our Lidshore employees. The correct thing is there, and then export it to a CSV file that she's done. Questions on the submit button? Yes, ma'am.
What if they don't see the big red button and they send the response to the email address?
If I click on this, again, this is part of the thing here that I would probably not want to include that into the text on it. I'd take that out of it. But if you do put an email in here, it's just going to open up a new form to Ashley. But it doesn't do the auto attachment on it.
They'll think that they maybe did, so we
Yeah.
don't want to, was that? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So maybe I just want to say, you know, send the response to Ashley, not associate anything with their email address on it, and then click here to submit. Again, testing. You want to make sure that you completely test the form before you have people do it. Once you publish it, actually before you publish it, you should do one other thing. Get your people together. You know, if this is a new way of doing the encounter form, get your BCMs together, get your enrollment monitors together. Okay. Here's a new way that you're going to be able to do it. Let's walk through this, make sure everybody understands, practice it, try it a few times. Okay, I'm going to give you through the end of Friday to try this out. Starting on Monday, this is what you're going to do. So don't just push something out there and expect people to know how to use it. Most people would assume, okay, by looking at that form, it's pretty self-explanatory. It could be self-explanatory to you because you created the form. You know what you expect from people to fill out. That's why I say in the testing phase, send it to people that aren't involved at all in the design of the form. And they figure it out, do they know what to do? is a form self-explanatory? Is it visible? You know, can they see what they need to see on it? If you get a really complicated form, can they see that little button you put down in the lower left-hand corner of the form that says submit here? And it's just a regular little gray button that doesn't stand out at all. So, you know, really think about what it is that you need to do with it. Okay, questions on that? Okay. It took a little bit longer than what I wanted to on that. But what I want to do now is this. I want you guys to feel free to break up into some groups, to move the tables around if you need to. I'll reorganize them afterwards. You can do that. But talk about forms that your department can utilize. I know, Carlin, this makes it a little difficult because most of your other people are remoted in for it. So
I actually have to go.
yeah. So, but other ones, and then if somebody has a form that you want to work on, send me a copy of it and we can pull it up in front of the class and we can take a look at it. Yeah.
That one,
And please don't send that RSVP out to people.
that one's.
Because you can't get crime red.
That's the same conversation. So many masses.
How many people can, like, say, you know, Jen has the credentials, more than one person?
I think it allows for a couple people to do that. I haven't pushed the limits of it. Oh, just so that people don't hear this watching remotely, I'm going to stop the recording here.